won't let these visions come true, Master Yoda.
Anakin Skywalker is one of my favorite characters of all time. I grew up in poverty, and so I could see myself in the young boy in Episode 1, hope in the future I saw in Episode 2 in the Clone Wars, but nothing really hit me so hard as the ending of Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. To this day, that movie is my most favorite and most watched Star Wars movie of all time. Mainly from an emotional standpoint because it was really the first time I encountered a story that was just a tragedy. As a kid, I would re-watch the movie over and over again, hoping that this time Anakin would not go down the dark path, that he didn't fight Obi-Wan Kenobi and become Darth Vader. Watching the original trilogy, on the other hand, used to bore me, for the most part, mainly because I was not used to the old way of making movies. It was slower, less colorful, those sorts of things that children experience. There was also the basic fact of being a kid, you mainly watch these stuff because you think the world is cool. You're not really thinking about these deep character motivations. So when I would watch the first trilogy, I would think, that's a much cooler world to be in. I mean, look, the clones have better armor, the droids are funner villains to fight, and when I would look at the rebels, they were kind of like dirty, scrappy, you know, the world was a little bit more bleak. So naturally, I liked the prequel trilogy better. Now when I watch the original trilogy, I have a much greater appreciation for these films. Luke Skywalker is an incredible character that we all latch onto and all can relate to in many ways. All of us have been that person standing, maybe not literally in the desert, but looking off into the distance thinking, oh, the adventures I could have. But one of the most unique parts about his character is the unique perspective of having a father who does evil things. One of the most fundamental parts of this character, and one of the things that makes the story work so well, is that Luke Skywalker, despite having a father who is consumed by evil, refuses to identify him by his evil. Everyone around him, from Yoda to Obi-Wan to even his own sister, who he kissed, we're gonna ignore that, saw Darth Vader as completely corrupted, damned, and evil in his nature. Luke, however, can see Anakin still there, just buried. The young man that wanted to do good, but was consumed by darkness. Let's talk about that. Darth Vader did go down an absolutely horrible path, but why did he do that? I want to make it clear, I'm not saying it's okay what he did. Obviously, genocide is bad. I feel like that should be a very uniquely easy thing to agree on. What I want to know is why he did it so that we can understand it, but not excuse it. You can understand why somebody became an evil person without saying it's okay that he became an evil person. Anakin grew up a slave, and so he grew up with people who saw him as less than human, and that made him angry. He attached himself strongly to his mother as it was the only family he knew, and he would do anything for her. Eventually, he is freed from slavery, but his mother isn't. He had no father growing up, as his father is literally the Force. It was a virgin birth. And so he didn't have that figure in his life. He only had his mother. Now he's with unfamiliar folk. The best chance he has is Qui-Gon, who's becoming a father figure for him, and he's immediately murdered. And so now all he has is this strangely different older brother figure in the form of Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan really does do his best to be Anakin's master and to shape him in the ways that he should go about. But Obi-Wan does not have the same understanding of Anakin that Qui-Gon did. It's only later that Anakin can actually go back home and look for his mother, finding that she's been sold into another person. So he finds her only moments before she dies. And this makes him resentful, it makes him angry, and he gives into that deep anger that he has from all of this trauma that he's built up. He gives into it and he slaughters the entire village. Obviously, at this point, he has not been consumed by the darkness, so he still feels bad about it. He has a hard time expressing it through his Jedi training, but you can tell by the tears that Anakin is not okay with what he has done, and he's struggling to comprehend how he could have done such a thing. It's important to notice that, yes, Anakin's anger is very disordered, it's out of line with reality, but his anger does come from an initially good place, his sense of justice and doing the right thing no matter what. But eventually, this anger, unchecked, turns in on itself, and it starts to consume Anakin from within. The slow manipulation of Chancellor Palpatine, he starts to distrust and grow resentful towards the Jedi. And after all, they did take him from his mother, and they turned him into a deadly weapon, unable to express his emotions. All of this makes him incredibly vulnerable to the temptations that Palpatine starts to plant in him. He's haunted by the vision of his wife dying. He's desperate not to lose the only one he loves and his future with a child. He seeks every opportunity to save them, and he finds that Palpatine has the only real answer he can see. But that's a problem because he also comes to realize that Palpatine is Darth Sidious. In a moment of desperation, Anakin kills Mace Windu and he turns to the dark side. And this is where Anakin starts to become a victim of the sunken cost fallacy and starts to let his anger drive him and not him driving his anger into good directions. He throws away his sense of justice. All he cares about is saving his family, even though this goes entirely against what Padme would want. It's an utterly selfish move. He turns this loving relationship into a self-possessive one where he's like, I need to have Padme, I need to have this future. But he doesn't care what Padme thinks about it at all. He knows Padme would hate this, but he doesn't really care about her right now. He cares about having her, not who she is. Giving into this anger leads him to hurt his wife and ultimately be the cause of her death after she gives birth to Luke and Leia. This turns him into exactly what he felt when he was a slave, less than human, burnt alive, dismembered by his former brother, now reliant on a machine, less a man, more of a monster. He feeds on this, he lets it identify himself, but his walls are not invulnerable. They only seem that way. All it would take is the son of Padme to crack them.
You failed, Your Highness. I am a Jedi, like my father before me.
In Luke's ability to see the goodness in Anakin where he could not see it himself, he was able to bring Darth Vader's heart back into himself. In a moment, the loyal slave of the Emperor, only living off hatred, sees his son being tortured and allows Anakin, the father, to come back out. He sacrifices himself for the sake of love and brings balance to the Force. At the end, we know Darth Vader no longer remained, but Anakin was the one to look in the eyes of his son as he died. And in so doing, his soul was redeemed, and he became a Force ghost, just like Yoda and Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon before him. What's the moral here? Well, that's actually rather simple. We have all gone down dark paths. We all know people who have gone down dark paths. We can justify it all we want and let ourselves get away with whatever, but at the end of the day, we know the human in us remains. We can always choose to leave the dark in the past and to return into the light of the future. We can always treat those who do wrong with the same love and compassion that we treat everyone else, never giving up on the inner goodness in them. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like and subscribe. Leave a comment if you enjoyed it. If you didn't enjoy it, leave a very hyper-specific comment so that I can respond to it well. If you guys like what I'm doing, I have a Substack as well. I'm also on TikTok, and I'll leave some recommendations for channels down below because I did not come up with the idea of analyzing Star Wars or any of these other media content through the lens of my faith and stoicism and all this. So check these guys out below. They're really awesome. And so you guys have a great day. Remember to walk in the light.